सर 3:30 बजेगा फ्री
सर 4 भी बजेगा तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, हम तो एकदम लेके आए हैं घर पे।
Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence proposes that people are not born with all the intelligence they will ever have. This theory challenged the traditional notion that there is one single type of intelligence. Traditional notion of intelligence is, it says that there is only one type of intelligence, sometimes known as G for general intelligence, that only focuses on cognitive abilities. To broaden this notion of intelligence, Howard Gardner introduced 8 different types of intelligence consisting of linguistic, logical, visual intelligence, musical intelligence, kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, and naturalist intelligence. This theory of multiple intelligence was first proposed by Howard Gardner in 1983 book Frames of Mind, where he broadens the definition of intelligence and outlines several distinct types of intellectual competencies. He writes that we may all have these intelligences, but our profile of these intelligence may differ individually based on genetics or experience. What is intelligence according to Gardner? Gardner defines intelligence as biopsychological potential Gardner defines intelligence as a biopsychological potential to process information that can be activated in a cultural setting to solve problems or to create products that are of value in a culture. Multiple intelligence is Howard Gardner's psychological theory about people and their different types of intelligence. So what is multiple intelligence? It is talking about, it is a Howard Gardner's theory about people and different types of intelligence. Traditionally, people believe that there is only one type of intelligence, 8 different types of intelligences. Multiple intelligence is Howard Gardner's psychological theory about people and their different types of intelligences. That is logical, visual, linguistic, musical. There are 7 or 8 intelligences that each person has. A person may have provisional. The first two are usually associated with art, additional intelligence. Since Howard Gardner's original listing of intelligence in Frames of Mind, 1993, there has been a great deal of discussion as to the other possible candidates for inclusion or exclusion. Subsequent research and reflection by Howard Gardner and his colleagues have resulted in 3 particular possibilities a natural intelligence, spiritual intelligence, and existential intelligence. Initially, he formulated 7, then later on he added 3 more intelligences. Traditionally, schools have emphasized the development of logical intelligence and linguistic intelligence that is connected mainly to reading and writing. While many students function well in this environment, there are those who agree with Gardner's theory, argues that students will be better served by a broader vision of education, wherein teachers use different methodologies, exercises, and activities to reach to all. What are the benefits of using multiple intelligence approach in schools? The using of multiple intelligence approach in schools, interest and talents. The multiple intelligence classroom acts like the real world. The author and the illustrator of a book are equally valuable creators. Students become more involved learners. Parent and community involvement in the school way to work before panels and audience. Activities involving apprenticeship, learning brings members of the community into a learning process. Students will be able to demonstrate their strength. Building strength gives a student the motivation to be a specialist. This can in turn lead to increase. When you reach for understanding, the students will accumulate positive education experience and the capacity for creating solutions to problems in life. If you are teaching them for understanding, other than we teach them for understanding, the students will accumulate positive education experience. Helps students to learn better. Students begin to understand how they are intelligent in Gardner's field. Traditionally, people think that there is only cognitive intelligence. When students realize they have all these different types of intelligences, we include all the students in our class. So then they get a confidence that they too are intelligent. Learning and manage their own multiple intelligence, they begin to manage their own learning. When they have self-confidence, they have an interest to learn and they will begin to manage their own learning. Teachers understand how students are intelligent as well as how to understand how intelligent we are. What is our trend of learning? Our intelligence, whether it is logical, whether it is linguistic, whether it is musical, the teachers begin to understand. Knowing which, the students have potential for strong interpersonal intelligence. For example, will help to create opportunities where the strength can be fostered in others. However, multiple intelligence theory is not intended to provide leaders with new IQ levels for the students. Students approach understanding from different angles. When we use multiple intelligence in our classrooms, they begin to see learning from different angles. For example, the problem, what is sand? It has a scientific, it has poetic, musical, geographical points of entry. The critical version of this theory. Of the resistance to multiple intelligence theory has come from cognitive psychologists. To the validity of the theory of multiple intelligence. Psychometricians or psychologists involve that says there's only one. So they do not agree. Some respond to the criticism of inclusion of the criteria set forth by Gardner. what are my learning strengths? Depending on our background, age, some intelligence are more developed than others. Whatever you are teaching or learning, see how you might connect it with the words. Suppose you are teaching something, how can you connect it with the words? Number or logic, pictures, music, self-reflection, physical experience, social experience, interpersonal and an experience in the natural world. I'm going to give you an activity which will help you to find out what your strengths are as often. This is an activity to find out which is your intelligence, your strength of intelligence. Here, read each sentence and honestly assign the number that best applies to you in the vacant place. Number one is mentioned here. It is written very like me. It should be very little like me. Just you can correct that one. On the top of the column, there is written very like me. It is very little like me. Very little like me. So number two is a little like me. Third is like me. Fourth is a lot like me. According to that, you have to write your number. Which one you will pick? Number. Number only. You have to write the number here. The top there is the numbers are mentioned. Those numbers you have to fill up here. Depending upon what is your interest.
Yes, ma'am. Please repeat once again.
See, on the top I have written very little like me, little like me, a lot like me. Number one is mentioned. I like scientific and technical subjects. What do you think about your interest? Very little like me, like me, a lot like me. If you think it is very lot like me, then you write number 4. If it is 2, a little like me, you write number 2. So that way you kind of do that.
And what is this?
That is only just nothing is there. First one is actually very little like me. Yes. Yes, it is. You can keep it with you. I don't need it one. After putting it, you can add up together. The one which you have most number, that is your intelligence. Below here is mentioned. M is multiple logical mathematical intelligence. P is interpersonal intelligence. L is verbal or linguistic intelligence. I is intrapersonal intelligence. R is musical or rhythmic intelligence. B body or kinesthetic intelligence. P is visual or spatial intelligence. N is naturalist intelligence. Anybody has what count? The highest number you get, that is your intelligence. You may get one or two higher points. Anybody has total? So what is your highest point? 14. Which intelligence? I and R. I and R. B. I is intrapersonal and R is musical or rhythmical intelligence. Yes. And intelligence and body kinesthetic intelligence. Body or kinesthetic intelligence. Three.
Multiple, logical or practical, interpersonal or verbal.
Linguistic. Okay. Since those are not found, we can do it later on. Shall we move to the next one?
Yes.
Now, we shall go in detail of each intelligence. verbal or linguistic intelligence. The intelligence which is related to words and language, both written and spoken, dominates Western educational system. Most of our education system is dominated by words or languages. Verbal linguistic intelligence is awakened or activated by the spoken word, by reading someone's ideas and thoughts or poetry, or by writing one's own ideas as well as of the language. Such a person likes to read, write and tell stories, is good at memorizing names, places, dates, and driver learns best by saying, hearing and seeing words. It is very important for us as teachers. The learners with linguistic intelligence, they learn better by hearing, seeing and saying words. Saying, hearing and seeing words. How to strengthen this intelligence? To them, such learners, to tell stories, play memory games with names, place, read and write stories or jokes, do documentary vocabulary skills using journal writing, interviewing, do puzzles, spelling games, interrogate, reading and writing with other subject areas, produce, edit and supervise class magazines, debates or discussions, and what are some of the career paths that such people can take? They can be novelists, poets, script writers, orators, speech writers, etc. Next we come to logical or mathematical intelligence. Mathematical intelligence is often called scientific thinking. Is the ability to reason, calculate and handle logical thinking and deals with inductive and deductive thinking. Logical thinking is the ability to reason, to calculate and handle logical thinking. Is the ability to use reason, logic and numbers. Logical mathematical intelligence is activated in situations requiring problem solving or meeting new challenges as well as situations requiring pattern discernment and recognition. These learners think conceptually. Mathematical students or learners with logical mathematical intelligence, they learn better by understanding things in conceptually. In logical and numerical pattern, making connections between the information. They are always curious, they ask a lot of questions and try to do experiments. How to strengthen this intelligence? You can strengthen this intelligence, can stimulate problem solving, do mathematical computation games, analyze and interpret data, use reasoning, encourage own strength, encourage practical experiments, use prediction, integrate organization, allows things to be done step by step, use deductive thinking, use computers for spreadsheets, calculations, and the possible career paths. What career they could take, such students. They could be scientists, engineers, computer programmers, researchers, accountants, and mathematicians. The third is visual or spatial intelligence. Visual, seeing. This intelligence, which relies on the sense of sight and being able to visualize an object, includes the ability to create internal mental images or pictures, visual and spot. This is the ability to create visual images in our mind. If they are better images, then we are able to create images in our mind. This intelligence is triggered or activated by presenting the mind with or creating unusual, delightful, and colorful designs, patterns, shapes, and pictures, and engaging in active imagination. Through such things as visualization, guided imagery, and pretending exercise. These learners tend to think in pictures and need to create vivid mental images to retain information. They need to create mental images to retain information. What they learn, they understand and retain it in more in visual way. They enjoy looking at maps, charts, pictures, videos, and movies. How to strengthen them? By using pictures to learn. So in our classrooms, we can bring pictures to create doodles, symbols, integrate art with other subjects, use mind mapping, do visualization activities, use mind, change places in the class to gain different perspectives, use clustering, highlight with color, use computer graphics, use peripherals, stimuli on the board, and the possible career interest are they can be navigators, sculptors, visual artists, inventors, architects, interior designers, mechanics, engineers, battlefield strategists, chess players, theoretical physicists. Next is musical or rhythmic intelligence. This intelligence is based on recognition of tonal pattern. Tonal means tune patterns, including various environmental sounds, and on sensitivity to rhythm and beat. They very quickly catch rhythm and beat. It is the ability to produce and appreciate music. These musically inclined learners think in sounds, rhythms, and patterns. They immediately respond to music, either appreciating or criticizing what they hear. Many of these learners are extremely sensitive to environmental sounds, sounds like a cricket's bell, dripping taps, etc. How to strengthen? Play a musical instrument, learn, use active or passive concepts, work out with the music, join choir or choral group, write music, integrate music with other subject areas, change your mood with the music, and use music to relax. Possible career paths can be musicians, disc jockey, singer, or composers. Next is body or kinesthetic intelligence. This intelligence is related to physical movement, activities, hands-on activities, and knowing the wisdom of the body, including the brain's motor cortex, which control body motion. Is the ability to control body movements, handle objects skillfully. They are good at doing things. They can create many items. It is awakened through physical movements such as various sports, dance, and physical exercises, as well as the expression of oneself through the body. They can express themselves through body, like a dance, by inventing, drama, body language, and creative interpretive dance. These learners express themselves through movements. How to strengthen kinesthetic intelligence? By the use of physical exercise, wherein you become the object you are learning about. Use dancing, movement, act out, give lots of stage changes and breaks, integrate movements into all curricular areas. If students are only sitting and listening, they will not pick up. These students will be very disturbed in the class. Sometimes in the classes we can see students who are hyperactive. They need to move. So those students could be mostly kinesthetic. They have kinesthetic intelligence. So bring movements into curricular areas. They can be taken out for field trips, can have classroom games, dramas, role plays, finger snapping, clapping, stamping, jumping, climbing, etc. And the possible career paths are athletes. They could become athletes, physical education teachers, dancers, actors, firefighters, artisans, mills, surgeons, karate teachers, car drivers, and mechanically gifted. Next are interpersonal intelligence. This intelligence operates primarily through person-to-person relationship and communication. This is person-to-person. They learn better by talking to each other, having group activities. Is the ability to relate and understand others. They have an ability to understand and relate to each other. It is activated by person-to-person encounters in which such things as effective communication, working together with others for common goal, noticing the distinction among persons are necessary and important. They don't like to be treated everybody as same. They like to be treated differently. The individual differences should be respected. These learners try to see things from the other person's point of view. They are able to see other point of view and to understand how they think and feel. They use both verbal and non-verbal. Verbal is speaking. Non-verbal language is like eye contact, body language, and also to open communication channel with others. How to strengthen? Do learning activities cooperatively. Cooperatively means in a group or a one-to-one. Give a lot of break to socialize. They like socializing. Use pair and share learning activities. Use relationships and communication skills. Make learning fun. Integrate socialization into curricular areas. Work in teams. Learn through service. And they can also tutor others, teach others. The possible career paths for such students, such learners could be, they can be counselors, salespersons, politicians, business persons, etc. Next is intrapersonal intelligence. This intelligence relates to inner state of being, self-reflection, metacognition, thinking about thinking. They act better. They can function better by turning to themselves. They like to be more alone. And awareness of spiritual realities. They have more awareness of spiritual realities. They also have more self-reflection. It's the ability to self-respect, reflect, and be aware of one's inner state of being. Intrapersonal intelligence is awakened when we are in situations that cause introspection and require knowledge of the internal aspects of the self, such as awareness of our feelings, thinking, process, self-reflection, and spirituality, etc. How to strengthen? They can have personal heart-to-heart talk, use personal growth activities to break learning blocks, debrief activities, share and share, think and learn activities, take time for inner recreation, do independent study. They would like to study individually. Listen to your intuition. Discuss, reflect, or write what you experience and how you feel. Permit freedom to be different from the group. Take control of your own learning. Teach personal affirmations. Teach questions. Career paths for such students they can be researchers, theorists, philosophers, gurus, etc. Next is naturalist intelligence. It deals with sensing patterns in and making connections to elements in nature. They are more connected to nature. They may also be very interested in other species or in the environment and the earth. Children have strong affinity to the outside world or to animals and enjoy subjects, shows and stories that deal with animals or natural phenomena. Or they may show unusual interest in subjects like biology, zoology, botany, geology, meteorology, paleontology, or astronomy. Such students like to be outside with animals, geography and weather, interacting with the surroundings, and is good at catering, categorizing a living area, planning a trip, preservation and conservation. Their likely traits are they notice patterns and things from nature easily. They like animals and likes to know and remember things about them. They really appreciate being outside and doing things like camping, hiking, climbing, even just like sitting quietly and noticing the subtle difference in the world of nature or makes keen observations about natural changes, interconnections and patterns. These are some of the intelligences we have seen. The importance of multiple intelligence. If we are able to teach students or learners with a multiple intelligence, we are able to reach each and every student every time. We can reach every student in our classes. Teach in brain compatible ways. Assess students' learning authentically and fairly. Like for example, if you ask the ability of a fish to climb the tree, the fish has no ability to climb. So we cannot say the fish has no ability. It has on its own level, it is smart. So we are able to understand or assess our students' learning